If I am to be killed, Osama bin Laden wrote to his father in 2008, "Pray for me a lot." He traces each Arabic letter carefully, finishing a short, chilling sentence in his journal. "I know they will find me soon." In May 2011, inside a quiet compound, Osama bin Laden sat on the chair of his bedroom, writing in his journal. He had lived here in hiding for nearly 6 years, completely off the grid. No phones, no internet, no contact with the outside world. It had been almost 10 years since the 9/11 attacks, and ever since, the CIA had been hunting him, pouring billions of dollars into the search. Bin Laden had managed to stay hidden, moving from house to house, always one step ahead. But now, he knew time was running out. The biggest manhunt in modern history was about to come to an end. Osama bin Laden wasn't born into a life of violence. His father, Mohammed bin Laden, was a billionaire construction tycoon with close ties to the Saudi royal family. Growing up, Osama was quiet, serious, and intelligent. His teachers described him as polite and deeply religious. By the time he was a teenager, he was memorizing the Quran and studying Islamic history with almost obsessive focus. He wasn't the loud troublemaker. He was the quiet kid in the back, soaking everything in. In college, he got pulled into extreme radical Islamic ideas, believing the Muslim world was under attack by the West. After fighting in Afghanistan against the Soviets, his hatred shifted toward the US, especially after American troops stayed in Saudi Arabia a bit too long. By the late 90s, bin Laden saw the US as the root of all evil in the Muslim world. He wasn't looking for a war. He was looking to strike terror, and he did.
فإني أقول للشعب الأمريكي إننا بإذن الله ماضون في قتالكم وسنواصل العمليات الاستشهادية.
After the attacks on September 11th, bin Laden became the #1 target for the US government. Just weeks later, American forces and Afghan allies cornered him in the mountains of Tora Bora, near the border with Pakistan. It should have been the end, but it wasn't. The US made a critical mistake. They didn't send in enough American troops to trap him. Instead, they relied mostly on local Afghan militia, fighters who had their own agendas and weren't willing to risk their lives chasing bin Laden into the caves. It was a huge embarrassment for the CIA and the Pentagon. For years after that, American intelligence chased bad leads across Afghanistan, believing he was still hiding somewhere unknown. They spent billions on satellites, drones, and informants, but bin Laden had simply disappeared. He wasn't living in caves anymore. After September 11th, the US figured out there was supposed to be a 20th hijacker. In August 2001, a Saudi recruit named Mohammed al-Qahtani tried to enter the United States to join the 9/11 hijackers. Ringleader Mohammed Atta, who piloted American Airline Flight 11, which struck the North Tower, Atta was waiting for him at Orlando International Airport. But al-Qahtani's one-way ticket and shaky story drew an immigration officer's suspicion. He was refused entry and sent back abroad. After September 11th, al-Qahtani rejoined al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. He was caught during the Battle of Tora Bora in December 2001, and when investigators ran his fingerprints through their system, it was a match. The story of him calling Atta from Orlando Airport was now out, and the connection between Qahtani and Atta was clear. In March 2002, US and Pakistani agents captured Abu Zubaydah, a key al-Qaeda facilitator, during a raid on a safe house in Faisalabad, Pakistan. Severely wounded but alive, Zubaydah yielded a crucial clue under CIA interrogation. He identified a man named Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, KSM, as the plot's mastermind, using the alias Mukhtar, putting the CIA on KSM's trail. KSM was arrested a year later in Rawalpindi, Pakistan, on March 1st, 2003. In custody, KSM was questioned about bin Laden's messengers. He tried to mislead interrogators about one courier, a man known as Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, even claiming the courier was unimportant or dead, which only raised red flags. Armed with these leads, the CIA gradually identified this mysterious al-Kuwaiti and began tracking his communications and movements. In 2004, during interrogations at CIA black sites, captured al-Qaeda operatives gave up more information. One detainee, Hassan Ghul, a courier for al-Qaeda, finally revealed al-Kuwaiti's real name, Sheikh Abu Ahmed, and said he was from Pakistan, not Kuwaiti. The CIA now knew who they were looking for, but they still didn't know where he was. For years, Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti seemed to vanish off the map. No phone calls, no emails, no sightings. He was careful. Just like bin Laden had taught him, an unknown foreign intelligence agency contacted CIA and told them that they finally had a real name for Kuwaiti, which was Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed. The agency kept watching, waiting for the slightest mistake, because wherever Ibrahim Saeed went, they believed bin Laden wouldn't be far behind. By early 2010, the CIA had one thing they didn't have before: a phone number linked to Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. It didn't happen by accident. The number came through a joint effort between the NSA, the CIA, and intelligence services from a third country. Widely believed to be Jordan, but tracking him wasn't easy. Al-Kuwaiti almost never used his phone the way normal people do. He didn't just turn it off when he wasn't using it. He physically removed the SIM card every time, making it almost impossible to trace his movements through regular cell tower. He was disciplined, just like bin Laden had trained him to be. Still, mistakes happen. In June 2010, al-Kuwaiti made a call to a known associate. When the friend casually asked, "Where are you these days?" Al-Kuwaiti dodged the question. He just said he was still with the same brothers as before, giving no location. But during that call, something else happened. For a short window of time, his phone was switched on, long enough for the CIA and NSA to trace the signal. It pinged in the Pakistani city of Peshawar. That was huge. Peshawar wasn't some remote mountain village. It was a major city, a busy place, close to the Afghan border. Bin Laden's courier wasn't hiding in caves. He was moving through populated areas, under the radar. From there, the CIA started pulling every camera feed, every license plate check, every human source they could find in the area, trying to follow the signal to wherever al-Kuwaiti would go next. And they didn't have to wait long. After the phone call in Peshawar, the CIA started tracking the man they believed was Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. Agents followed his car as he left the city, carefully tailing him for hours across Pakistan. He eventually drove into Abbottabad, a quiet town about 35 miles from Islamabad. There, he pulled into a large walled compound, way bigger than the surrounding houses. The place had tall walls topped with barbed wire, no phone lines, no internet, and the residents burned their trash instead of putting it out. All of it screamed that someone inside was trying to stay hidden. In the months that followed, analysts in Washington slowly pieced it together and found out that the compound in Abbottabad wasn't just unusual. It was built to hide someone important. And eventually, they reached the only conclusion that made sense. Osama bin Laden was living there. This is it. This is what years of relentless pursuit brought to US intelligence agency. This was their man. Finally, they knew what they had to do next. A mission was ordered, one that would take months to plan and push everyone involved to their limits. It was high risk, high stakes, and had no room for error. That mission is so big, it deserves its own story. One we'll tell in a future video. If you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing for more and like the video, share it with your friends. These videos take a lot of efforts to make, so it would be really helpful. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda. It's nearly 10 years ago that a bright September day was darkened by the worst attack on the American people in our history. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America.